Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to this week's podcast episode. I was trying out different, you know, openings. Yo, go, go. I'm always like, hey guys, but I feel like that doesn't sound personal enough. But kia ora, kia ora, kia ora, and welcome back to this week's podcast episode. I am so happy that you are here. Thank you for being here. This week, I want to talk about like not worrying about your weight, how to stop worrying about your weight, worrying about your size. And this comes off the back of, oh my gosh, just I have been in a lot of environments lately where I've just heard people commenting on their weight nonstop all the time, that they need to lose weight, that they need to stop eating bad foods, that they're eating bad foods, that they, you need to slap that food out of their hand, like just stuff like this. And I'm like, guys, we need to stop worrying about our weight and letting this shit over fucking like take over our world and our lives and all the things. And yeah, this is for you if you feel like you're constantly worrying about your weight and you don't want to do that anymore. If you want to keep doing it, kei te pai, this isn't for you. But if you're at a point in your life where you're like, fuck, I'm so sick of waking up every morning and just the first thing you think is how much weight can you lose, what food you should eat that day so that you don't put on weight and that you lose weight and you can lose the amount of weight, and you're not worried about the birthday you have on the weekend or the event you have on the weekend and what you're going to wear, and that you need to lose weight in time to look good and all the things. And that's not your thoughts all day. Your day is not revolving around the way you look and planning in advance what you're going to wear so that you don't look fat and all the things. As you can probably hear, I have a lot of experience in these times and in these spaces. And, whenever an event was coming up, or I knew there was a holiday coming up, or a wedding or a birthday, I'd like calculate, from the time the birthday or the event is back to, the day it is now, how many days there is that I can lose weight and how much weight I want to lose by. If it's 10 kgs, what's the word? Working it out, dividing it by 14 days, and I need to lose 2 kgs a week and all the things, and what can I eat and how can I starve myself and all the things. And it's honestly not a good way to live. And if you're sick of it and if you don't want to live that way anymore, this podcast is for you. And I think there's so many parts I could speak on in this one topic, but I want to talk about your environment, the environment that you're in, because your environment plays a huge part into these thoughts that you're always having. So these thoughts that consume your life, the excessive worry about your weight and the way you look and all the things. So yeah, there's so much to uncover, but I really want to talk about environment and setting yourself up for success. You need to set yourself up with a good environment, and that includes removing things that support the narrative that that your weight or your size isn't good, that you don't look good that way, that you need to lose weight to look good, that you need to lose weight to be accepted, to be loved, to be worthy, to be. So we need to remove things that support that narrative, right? Things like there's so many things. I'm like, where do I start with all the things? But if we just start with the scales, having those scales and obsessing over those scales. And I used to always, like, every morning I'd, wake up, go to the toilet, and then I would jump on the scales and see how much I had weighed that day, how much I had lost from the day before, if I had eaten bad that day, how much I'd put on. And then I'd just dwell on it. And if I didn't lose, I'd overthink and starve myself that day and be like, okay, I won't have breakfast, or okay, I will skip a meal of the day. So just really removing the scales from your life. But I think even before you remove it, just thinking about, how does the scales play a part in the thought that you currently have about your weight, in the worry of your weight? How does it play a part in it? Is it, is it a key factor into you really obsessing over your weight? That was what it was for me. Going on that scales would tell me if I was good or bad, if I was worthy or not worthy, if I was hot or not, right? So getting rid of it in the first place. And I don't weigh myself anymore. I haven't weighed myself for a very long time. And I'm not going to lie, there are moments where I wonder, like, oh, how much I weigh, or if I have put on weight or not, because I haven't necessarily noticed if I've put on weight or not. But it is something that kind of creeps up sometimes. And I'm like, maybe I should weigh myself. But then it just goes into the spiral of, oh my gosh, but what if I weigh more? And then, as soon as you think of it, like, oh, if I weigh more, I feel like I revert back into the old thinking habits that big is bad, that, being bigger means you're unworthy and all the things. So getting rid of it in the first place. And that's the same with diets. Like, these diets are setting you up for failure. And I have been reading a freaking awesome book from a nutritionalist, and she just talks about all the reasons why diets are bad for you. That, 95% of diets don't work. That is a lot, like freaking a lot. And the ones that and people spend most of their lives, going on this yo-yo because the diet doesn't work, and then they jump on another diet, and so on and so on. And because it really is a lifestyle that you need to live, and diets do not work. It's just it's a proven thing that diets don't work. So getting rid of those diets, stopping those diets, and instead looking at other things like, really having foods and seeing the way that they make you feel. And a lot of the time for me, I think about who I want to be, as my highest self. So my higher self looks like a person who has a lot of energy, who does move her body, who walks, walks till she's really, really old. I want to have my knees so I can roller skate in the future. I want to be healthy for my kids, to run around with my kids and stuff like that. So thinking about your higher self in that sense, and then doing all the things that get you closer to that. So an example of that is, like, I literally cannot eat a lot of bad foods because it's going to stop me from having that energy every day. And I know it, when I have, fast foods late at night, me and Mitz used to, we'd be eating at midnight, ordering freaking Uber Eats, McDonald's, at midnight, because, early in the day we didn't eat, or we eat so long, far away. So it's like we're eating at that time, and I wake up every morning, I'm like, oh, I can feel it all in my tummy. I don't feel good. I got no energy. I just want to lay in bed all morning. So I know that that's not good for me. So if I was to eat, and because sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'd love a Big Mac, or I'd love a freaking double cheeseburger, steamed buns, add bacon and barbecue in there, like, I know to eat it earlier in the night, like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., I'll be good to wake up the next day, right? You're choosing different things. You're choosing different meals. Or, for example, I've started, eating more veggies because I know how good they are for me, and I know that they give me a lot of nutrients, and they're nutrient dense, and they help me get through my days, because there is a lot of energy that I need to have with what I do every day and being my highest self. So thinking of it that way, listening to your body, tuning into your body, and all the things, I think we are well switched on what foods are nutrient dense and what isn't, what foods give us energy and what doesn't, and it might be that you kind of play around wow, you play around with it for a little bit, getting to know what foods have protein, what foods have different things, fiber, all the things. What does your body need every day to keep the energy up? Does gluten work with your body or not? Do you want to eat gluten? Is it your choice to eat gluten and kind of not reap the rewards, kind of deal with, what happens in your body and all the things, are you lactose intolerant, all the things, right? So really getting to know your body, and not just having a diet that's set out by, some PT who's trying to make money, or nutritionist or whatever, they're trying to make money off you, and they're just setting the same diet for every person that they come across or whatever. Not starving yourself, just really educating yourself on yourself. Nobody knows yourself better than you know yourself, right? um getting rid of scales, getting rid of people, unfollowing people online, getting rid of the auntie who always comments on your weight, not hanging out with the colleagues who every lunchtime they just talk about, what they should and shouldn't be eating, or they see cake and they're like, I'm not going to eat cake. Cake is bad. Cake is no good, or they comment on the food that you're eating every day, or, all these things. They comment on your body or whatever it is. Get rid of these people, unfollow these people, follow people who are who make you feel good, who don't even make you even think about weight or worry about weight in the first place. Follow all these different kinds of people and unfollow. Same with TV, same with news, same with TikTok, same with YouTube, same with the movies you watch, all of that kind of stuff. So really setting up your environment so that you're good, so that doesn't what's the word, it doesn't make you even think about your weight or worry about your weight, right? Your environment plays a huge part. And I always say this and I will forever say this, but just really thinking about your standards and what your beauty standards are. What are your beauty standards? Not the beauty standards that are set out by society, that are set out by everyone else, that you've been programmed into by your family and your friends and all the things. What do you actually think is beauty? And why? Do you think that it's this thin body that's got no curves, that's, all the things? Is it no cellulite? Is it cellulite? Is it rolls? Are you your beauty standards? So really setting out your beauty standards, because I think that that's the root of what it is, right? When we're worrying about our weight, it's like, what are the worries? Write them all down, that you're not going to find a partner, that your parents aren't going to accept you, that you're going to go to work and they're talking shit behind your back, that your friends are mocking you about your weight. What's the worries? That you're going to look bad at the event, that you're not going to fit into a dress, that you're not going to fit on the roller coaster, that you're not going to fit in the plane. What is it? Write all the worries down and confront them and face them on, because these worries are running your world. I talk a lot about, your thoughts create your reality. These worries in your head are creating your reality right now. It's why you don't show up. It's why you don't go, to the theme parks, to the travel the world. You don't go out and try to approach a guy that you like or a girl that you like, because you're worried about what you look and your weight and all the things, right? So getting clear, what are all your worries? Debunk them. Is it true? Are those thoughts true? Is it true that you're too fat to be attractive? Is it true that you're too fat to go on a plane overseas? Is it true that you're not worthy, that you're not lovable, that you're not all the things, right? Is it true? Is it true that you need to lose weight? Is it true that you need to go on a diet? Is it true that you need to wake up every morning and weigh yourself and dwell on how big you are and all the things? Like, a lot of this shit is really, what's the word, it's unproductive. It's really unproductive, and it beats yourself down and it makes you feel bad, and it's not good for you. It's impacting your life. So it's, changing the thoughts. And if at the end of it, you're like, you know what, I do want to lose weight, I do want to change the way that I eat, or I want to exercise more, or then do it, make it happen. Um, you can't sit around and worry and say all these things and then not change anything about it, because then you're in you're like in that victim mentality, that victimhood, that victim mode, right? Do something about it, make a change, whatever that is for you. If you want to do something about it, if you can't change the thing, change the way you think about the thing, right? So this is how you stop worrying about your weight, set your environment up for success, get rid of all those people that support the narrative that you're not okay as is. And instead of, obsessing over your weight, obsessing over, the scales, diets, all the things, be obsessed with yourself, like how incredible you are, how you're your beauty standard, your beauty standard looks like how incredible you are. Sometimes not, like shifting your focus from weight and all of that, like we're more than our exterior. What's on the inside? How amazing are we as people? We're so kind, we're so funny, we're so loving, we're so caring, we're so generous, we're so all the things, right? We're more than our outside kind of shell. If I do, am really practicing that self-compassion. But yeah, I really want you to think about your environment and priming your environment and setting your environment up for success. But that's it on how to stop worrying about your weight. If you love this episode, please rate and review us, comment, message me on Instagram. I'd love to hear your feedback. I love you so much. Thank you for listening. Ka kite, koikia.